Hi, everyone. Welcome to Global Compliance Panel's live webinar on preparing for FDA inspection in a changing regulatory environment. My name is Uttam Kumar, and I'm going to be your host today. On behalf of our team, I would like to thank you for being part of this event. Today's webinar will be presented by Nancy Duarte-Lonrot. Nancy is the Director of Quality and Regulatory Affairs, Healthcare, responsible for global coordination of Celestica's healthcare quality, regulatory and FDA compliance. Nancy is quality and regulatory expert with 15 years of experience in regulatory affairs, quality systems, compliance, clinical quality, validation, auditing, quality control, data management systems, post-marketing surveillance, supplier management, and regulatory compliance in the areas of biopharmaceuticals, medical device, and combination products. Nancy has contributed to the success of both venture and public companies, establishing a track record of successfully achieving timely global regulatory approvals, initiating and effectively managing preclinical and clinical investigation, and developing and marketing effective and compliant quality systems in various healthcare sectors. We are honored to have such a distinguished person such as Nancy with us to present this webinar. Now, before we begin, I would like to inform you of the program outlined for this training session today. This webinar is for 60 minutes duration. First, Nancy will take you through today's webinar, highlighting the areas that would be covered, and she would then share her presentation with you. We would like to inform you, all the participants, that once part of the teleconference, that you have been placed on mute and will remain so until the Q&A begins towards the end of the webinar. It's for the purpose of avoiding discontinuity and for allowing the presenter to speak clearly so that everyone present can take maximum benefit from this webinar. We also request all to hold back your questions until your Q&A window begins. 10 minutes of the time will be allotted for the question answers, during which your questions will be answered. And if for any reason you get logged out of this training session or teleconference, please follow the same procedure to join back again. Now that we are all ready to start, I request Nancy to take it from here. Nancy?
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I appreciate you taking your time away from your current efforts to take on such a very important training topic. Let's start off with I just do need to express to you that the views expressed here are those of mine, not necessarily those of Celestica. And moving into the next slide, I'm sure most of you are questioning, oh, well, who's Celestica? Celestica has been around for quite a number of years, although it's been predominant in the EMS industry, electronic manufacturing. We currently provide flexible and innovative supply chain solutions for the healthcare industry. We do partner with premier healthcare companies and provide them with various broad range of services, including design, automated manufacturing, electronics manufacturing, and fulfillment. So we have several sites that are registered with the FDA as a contract manufacturing supplier, and therefore we have hosted a few FDA inspections along with previous experience. I have hosted several FDA inspections in pharma, biotech, medical devices, and biologics. I've also supported some of the investigators during clinical studies in their inspections. As far as who I am, we've already covered that. So we'll just continue to move ahead and discuss the topics for today. So for everyone involved, FDA inspections are pretty time-consuming and they're labor-intensive processes, but they needn't be frustrating or mysterious, especially if a company is prepared properly. The most important preparation is complying with the pertinent laws and regulations, including developing safe and effective products and implementing an effective quality system. Although compliance is necessary to a good outcome, knowledge of the inspection process and preparation of key players can reduce the anxiety and limit missteps associated with inspections. This webinar serves as a guideline to help you prepare for an inspection, anticipate what FDA may be planning to do, and develop a procedure for handling FDA inspections. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of Commissioner Hamburg. There are a couple of good quotes that recently came through from her. FDA-regulated companies are currently dealing with a multitude of changes. Initially, companies have been aware of the reduction in FDA enforcement rigor that had occurred over the last 8 to 10 years, and many companies have, as a result, let their guard down with respect to FDA inspection readiness. Also, as a result of the significant economic challenges recently, companies have had to do more with less. Since companies have been observing that their overall enforcement risk had been reduced, there was really no real incentive to ensure robust quality and compliance programs, and as a result, quality and compliance staffing has become either frozen or reduced. I'm aware of one leading pharmaceutical medical device manufacturing company that eliminated a significant portion of its corporate quality and compliance oversight function a few years ago, and not surprisingly, is now experiencing problems within the organization. Unfortunately, when times are tough, executives often look at the cost of these functions and fail to remember how important the quality and compliance roles are to ensure companies aren't devastated by an adverse legal or regulatory enforcement action. FDA has, as most people know, been slowly increasing the quantity, intensity, and overall rigor of its inspection activities, however, with respect to FDA-regulated companies. In August of last year, FDA Commissioner Hamburg outlined in the first commissioner's speech to deal with exclusively with enforcement, FDA's new approach to aggressive enforcement activities and their desire to streamline the enforcement process. So far, it appears that the enforcement activity is increasing slowly but steadily. It is likely that the Obama administration has so many issues on its plate that the FDA enforcement and product safety have not yet received the attention that they would under other normal circumstances. I would expect that eventually significant attention will be placed on the supply chain security and product safety and inspection, and the enforcement action will increase substantially. There are many, many issues that are currently of concern for FDA-regulated companies and that create real risk. Initially, despite years of clear knowledge of FDA regulations and expectations, many companies have simply not fully implemented robust quality and compliance systems. I find that many companies just don't know what they don't know. Inspections are not something you can cram for, like a test. Companies are under the assumption that their systems are fine and that things are in control when nothing could be further from the truth. These companies are the ones that are most at risk from the increasing level of FDA enforcement. Even if FDA does not increase the level of intensity and quantity of inspections, it is already far less cooperative for companies that just don't get it or that have a history and a track record for substandard compliance activities. Can everyone still hear me? For companies that generally embrace proper approaches to compliance and quality management over the years, the traditional areas of concern will continue to be areas of intense scrutiny by the FDA. Perennial favorite CAPA can be most assuredly be considered one of the most important quality subsystems to have fully prepared and objectively assessed before getting a review during an FDA inspection. FDA's focus on external supply chain security and offshore outsourced operations place companies that perform much of their operations through third parties at an increased risk. These companies must have a robust oversight program in place to ensure that the company is fully aware of the actions of their third-party provider and that all the requirements and responsibilities, including control, change, investigation, etc., of the provider are executed. Finally, companies can expect FDA to review your process or product knowledge or characterization and how this knowledge is being used to drive proper CAPA investigations, recall decisions, change management, validation, and the design of your process and control frameworks. Commissioner Hamburg on FDA enforcement and public health. So recently, there's been new post-inspection deadlines. Regulated industry will generally have now no more than 15 days to respond to significant FDA 483 inspection findings before the FDA issues a warning letter or takes other enforcement action. Their streamlined warning letter process FDA is now limiting the review of warning letters by the Office of Chief Counsel to only those that present significant legal issues. There's closer relationships with regulatory partners. So where appropriate, FDA will request that state, local, and international officials take rapid regulatory action when public health is at risk. There's follow-up on warning letters and other enforcement actions. They will be the priority. FDA promises to work quickly to assess and follow up on the industry corrective actions in response to warning letters and major product recalls. Positioned to take immediate action in response to public health risks. So the FDA promises to act more quickly and aggressively to deal with significant public health concerns and violations, including initiating actions before the formal warning letter is issued. Develop and implement a formal warning letter closeout process. When the FDA determines that a firm has fully